Right now in 2025, thousands of homeowners are quietly panicking. They can't sell a traditional way. Buyers are backing out. Agents are stumped. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 creative strategies you can use without a license, without credit, and without begging banks. So let's talk about why this is happening. Home prices aren't crashing, but they've cooled off. And interest rates? Still high enough to freeze out buyers. According to Redfin, over 53,000 home purchase contracts fell through just last month alone. It happened on one of my flips. Buyers signed the contract, within a few days, backed out. And at the same time, you have sellers who bought their properties during the pandemic with 2 to 3% mortgage rates. They want top dollar, but they're not getting it. Now, others might need to sell due to divorce, relocation, financial stress, and other problems. But after closing costs, realtor commissions, and price cuts, they're not walking away with anything. And if they can't sell, they just sit stuck until somebody like you comes around with a better option. So let's start with one of the most overlooked strategies, Subject 2. Subject 2 is when you take over an existing mortgage on a property without going to the bank to get a new loan. So essentially what's happening is the loan stays in the seller's name, the title of the property goes in your name, you make the payments, and you now control the property. Now, why would a seller want to do something like this? It's because they can't sell a property traditionally, and walking away from a burdensome property, even if they don't make a profit, is still a win. Here's what to say to a seller in order to see if they're interested in doing something like this. If I can take over your payments and take this off of your plate, would you be interested in discussing something like that? It's simple, it works, and in today's market is more relevant than ever before. Now, if the seller owns the property free and clear, seller financing is a beautiful thing. You simply make monthly payments to the seller and they carry the note for you. No banks, no underwriting, no red tape. Now, why would a seller want to do something like this? Well, first, they get monthly income instead of a lump sum. Second, they get to avoid capital gains taxes. And third, they get to sell a house without making repairs or paying agent fees. Now, here's a simple line you can use to see if a seller wants to do something like this. What's more important to you, the total price or monthly income? That one question right there can open the doors for flexible terms and win-win deals. Now, what if a seller is not ready to sell, but they're open to creative terms? That's where the lease option shines. What you're doing is renting or leasing the property now with the option to buy it when the time is right. So how that works is you control the property, you generate income by subleasing the property, and then you exercise your option to buy the property later on. Now, this works really well when the house is vacant, when a property needs repairs, and when the seller is stuck in limbo. You essentially get to control the house without a mortgage, and the seller gets peace of mind knowing that they have an exit plan. Next up is the wraparound mortgage. Think of it like a hybrid between Subject 2 and seller financing. Essentially, the way this works is you're going to create a new mortgage which is going to wrap the existing loan, and you're going to agree to pay both loans with one single monthly payment. Now, this strategy is powerful when the seller has a low interest loan but still wants to make a profit, or when you want to pay over time instead of all cash. All you need in order to make this type of deal work is a good closing attorney and the right paperwork, and then you're in the game. Now, this next strategy is a little next level, but it's called a Novation agreement. So instead of assigning contracts, what you're going to do is partner with the seller to either make improvements to the property or market the property on their behalf. You get full permission to resell their property and you split the profits at the end. Now, this is perfect for sellers who want full price, but they don't want to list the property with an agent. And this is also great for investors who want to flip properties without taking ownership of the property. It's 100% legal, 100% ethical, and incredibly powerful in flat or declining markets. Now, how do you go out and find these sellers? Well, let's forget about the obvious places and let's go deeper. You find motivated sellers by focusing on life events. For example, you can look at pre-foreclosure filings and public notices down at the county. You can watch for probate cases and inherited properties. You can tap into divorce attorneys or family law offices. Those clients usually need to sell relatively quickly. You can check out Facebook community groups. Local rents, buy and sell, and housing groups usually have motivated sellers posting in those groups. You can even call HOA managers. They usually know which houses are being neglected, which houses are behind on dues or changing hands. So basically, you're not hunting for properties. You're identifying human pressure points, which turns into motivated sellers. Now, once you find these sellers and you actually get them on the phone, the next thing you want to do is simply find out more about the property and the seller's circumstances. The best thing you can do is ask open-ended questions. A question like, can you tell me a little bit about the property, is a really effective one to get the seller talking. Now, once you find out more about the property, the seller's circumstances, why they want to sell, what the asking price is, and everything else that you need to know about the property, the next thing you'll need to find out is if they're open to a creative option of selling their property, and then take it from there. Remember, you're not selling, you're sorting. If they're not motivated, move on. If they are, offer real help. Now, how do you profit from these types of deals? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but here's a few simple ways. You can assign your creative deal to another investor for a $10,000 to $25,000 profit or more. You can flip it using a novation agreement. You can sublease it for cash flow, or you can hold on to the property for long-term wealth. These deals don't require credit, cash, or a license, but they will require strategy and timing. My students are doing this every single month. And as I've mentioned in the last video, the Fed is under pressure. Rate cuts are coming. And when the rates drop, sellers will refinance, and your creative window is going to shrink. So this moment right now is rare. You can either watch it pass or take advantage of it in order to change your life. It's entirely up to you. If you want to learn more on how you can take advantage of it, be sure to check the Academy link in the description box below. And if you've gotten value from this video, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and be sure to share it as well with as many people as you think will benefit from it. And I'll be sure to see you guys on the next one. Take care.